So welcome to day 4 of the roving reporters schedule. It is day 4 today, right?
It is day 4, in fact.
I've got Trevor, and I still can't pronounce his surname, from Metalogix.
Hellebuyck.
Hellebuyck.
Hellebuyck. The
Hellebuyck.
Y is silent.
Yeah.
It's just there to trip you up a little bit.
So you're the CEO of Metalogix, right?
I am, in fact, the CEO of Metalogix.
I think you're the first coder CEO.
That's possible. My background is as a developer and architect, and I was previously the CTO at Metalogix.
So for the last, I think, 3 days, we've been speaking to a lot of speakers around their involvement and their experiences at Ignite. We've also spoken to attendees, but today we really want to talk to the exhibitors. So you've got a stand here, right? I think you're a platinum sponsor?
We're a platinum sponsor this year.
Yeah. And your experiences so far, I mean, huge investment from Metalogix and great stand.
It is. Microsoft Ignite is the single biggest marketing investment that we make every single year, and it really influences and drives a significant amount of business for our organization. It helps tremendously with our awareness just out in the community in general, so we get to meet and talk to a lot of individuals, partners, prospective customers, existing customers, so it's really a great overall investment for us.
So for the last 3 weeks, we've spoken about what to prep, how to plan for attendees to come through to Ignite. From a sponsor perspective, you go through the same thing. Your marketing team must be running at full steam a month, 2 months before the event?
Much longer than that. We actually start planning for Ignite almost a year in advance. So right as this event starts winding down, we're already setting up our plan for the following year based on when we think the conference is going to be. Taking away a lot of the things that we learn each year from the conference. But we really start ratcheting up preparation a couple months in advance. We're making a pretty significant investment. We have almost 50 individuals from the organization that come down and work aspects of the event in total, including in and around the booth. So making sure that all those folks are on point with our latest product releases, messaging that we're taking to market, and so on. So there's certainly a lot of preparation. We also have some speaking slots, so we have to prepare for those. I would say really 60 to 90 days out, things really start ratcheting up.
So Microsoft's launched quite a lot of product, new product or enablement in existing product. We've got Teams, and you've been on the podcast 2 days ago around talking about Teams and the new collaborative space. How do you schedule, I mean, there's so much new stuff coming out. How do you schedule your product roadmap and releases? Do you marry it up with what Microsoft is doing? You obviously are having these conversations with Microsoft on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. How do you align with that?
We do. So we get a little bit of a preview of what's coming. So the things announced here aren't necessarily a big surprise to us. But it's partially understanding what features and functionality within all of these great products from Microsoft are being implemented by customers in the field. So our product management team actually plays a very critical role in interfacing with our customers, prospective customers, really developing an understanding of the demand for these new features, how they're being deployed, what types of challenges they have around that, so that we can then align our roadmaps accordingly.
You've seen what's happening with Teams. I've just finished a session now with Dan Stevenson on the behind the scenes with Teams, and most of the questions were around compliance, management, retention. Are you moving towards looking at, you've got a product, well, you've got a set of products that does move, manage, protect, and the manage and the protect side comes squarely up and looks at and addresses these conversations. But have you moved that into the Teams space now that Teams is everything?
Not quite yet, but it's being worked on. So as you know, we do a lot in the way of migration, but we also make significant investments in really the areas of security, compliance, and information governance. Historically, that's been in and around SharePoint. More recently, we've expanded that to support all of the aspects of Office 365. We're working on Teams, and the way we're doing that today is with a new platform that we've released called Contently, and it is a true SaaS-based offering that aims to provide that security and compliance capabilities regardless of where the content lives.
But that's quite a big departure from traditional enterprise content management because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen the demo from Steve, and it says that we don't care where your content is, we'll manage your content. Is that the message?
More or less. I mean, if you think about traditional sort of information governance solutions that try to provide security and compliance capabilities, it generally targets the container, right? So if you look at a SharePoint site collection, although I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore, it's usually a repository of content that you're applying a policy to. What we're working on is really flipping that and allowing our customers to create policies that are bound to content types or document classifications, and then being able to enforce that policy regardless of where the content lives. So if it's buried within sort of the hidden SharePoint site within a team, if it's in OneDrive, if it's in a traditional SharePoint site, even non-Microsoft containers like Box and Dropbox, we're going to go out, find that content, identify it, tag it, apply the policy, and apply the enforcement.
All right. So yes, I'm really excited about that. And thank you for spending time with us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Cheers.
Thank you.